Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariana Hernandez. Thank you so much for being with us today. We are at the Land a Job at LAUSD student webinar with a guest speaker from LAUSD. So thank you for taking the time to join this conversation. I am part of a team of 3. Jose Pelayo, who is also on the call, is our program manager of workforce development at LAEDC, and we also have a director named Hampton. If you don't mind, all as you're coming in, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. And so this student webinar is brought about through a partnership that we have with the consortium that manages the 19 community colleges in the LA area. And so we encourage industry and education partnership to strengthen our talent development ecosystem here in the LA region. So what we do mostly is provide career awareness and employment and internship opportunities to community college students and work-based learning opportunities as well, advisories for faculty. We also have a workforce and education partner portal on the website that you can see on your screen, www.competitiveworkforce.la. So you're welcome to check that out. Again, thank you for attending today. Towards the end of the presentation, we'll go ahead and do a feedback poll. You'll see that pop up on your screen. But I will now kick it over to our LAUSD representative, Shauna. You have the floor.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It is really awesome to be able to connect with you this afternoon. My name is Shauna David Frappier, and I'm one of the recruiters for our classified service at LAUSD. And this is the best part of our job. We love connecting with the community and students at our community colleges. Many of us at LAUSD have started at community colleges throughout the LA area, and we love to recruit our community college students straight out of community college, and then also let you know of other opportunities that we have for you as well, should you choose to advance your education further. So many opportunities here for you. So we can just go ahead and dive right in. I will share my screen here. We go. Okay. All righty. Can everybody see this screen? It says LAUSD classified careers. Can we see that? Does that come up okay? Beautiful. Okay. So when many of us think about careers at LAUSD, maybe we immediately think of teaching positions, right? Well, today I'm here to share with you opportunities that are outside of the classroom. LAUSD opportunities that are in the classified service that help to support our LAUSD schools. Now, what does classified service mean? Well, it can mean different things in different contexts, right? Whether you're talking federal or whatnot. Well, in our context, classified service means that our positions have different classifications. So in other words, we have over 1,000 job titles just at LAUSD. So our positions are classified differently. So that's what classified careers or classified positions mean. So what are classified careers? Us classified employees, we are technical professionals. We are skilled workers, we are support staff and executives that help to support the business of educating the students of Los Angeles. So our positions really are business or operational type positions. We have over, as I mentioned, 1,000 classified job titles. So it's really interesting when people ask, hey, what do you have open? I'm like, well, we have over 1,000 positions, and at any given point in time, you could pretty much count about at least 50 that are open. So there's plenty of opportunity and options. So we have those over 1,000 job titles, and we make up approximately 30,000 employees. So at LAUSD, we have over 65,000 employees, and about half of those approximately make up the classified service. just to give you an idea of the scale in which classified employees help to support our schools. By the way, we have over 1,300 schools across 710 square miles, so we are quite big. Our food services division supports over 870,000 meals served to the students of LAUSD each day. Our transportation division covers over 59,000 miles to transport our students. And our IT division supports over 1.5 million technology users throughout the district. So we are a very big operation. We're the second largest school district in the nation. However, given the over 1,300 schools and the 710 square miles, we're actually the largest when you're talking about square miles wise, area wise. So what are different types of careers? Well, let me jump to this next slide here. There we go. So in this red circle are different types of career areas. So career areas include administrative, communications positions, facility services, which also include maintenance and operations positions. We have financial services that fall under our accounting and disbursements division. So we have like accounting, many accounting and finance positions. Human resources positions, food services positions. I think I might have said that already. In IT positions, instructional assistance positions, if you want to help out inside the classroom. Different from a teacher's aide, but similar to many in kind of the work that you do. We have a legal department. We have the Los Angeles School Police Department. We have procurement services, risk management, transportation, you name it. So we oftentimes say that at LAUSD, we have something for just about everybody, given that we house so many different divisions and departments, many different career areas. So in our classified service, for our permanent positions, meaning our full-time positions, LAUSD rewards employees with a comprehensive benefits package to include health benefits where 100% of the health benefits, the premiums are paid by the district, not only for the employee, but for the employee's eligible dependents as well. So that's a really big deal. For my small little family of 3, that saves me thousands upon thousands of dollars a year. We also have generous time off. We have career development opportunities. We have a department called Organizational Excellence for our internal employees, where you are given the opportunity to take classes with supervisor approval during your work time for your own personal and professional development. We have flexible spending accounts. We have retirement benefits. We're part of the CalPERS retirement plan, and lots of discounted employee perks as well, to include, theme park tickets and movies and all of that good stuff. So we are very well taken care of as well. As a little side note, after I mention the employee benefits, of course, we would love to see as many people that attend today and maybe see this presentation in the future apply to LAUSD. But one thing I always do want to mention, whether you're considering LAUSD or not, to really look at the whole package that an employer is offering you. So for example, at LAUSD, not only are our salaries competitive, but also look at the cost savings that the comprehensive benefits package offers you. So in other words, look at the salary plus the benefits package that your future employer is offering, to then make the best informed decision you can make in future career decisions. So at LAUSD, a big part of my decision, or why I choose to join, was a big part was the cost savings. So the generous benefits package that was offered. So another thing I want to mention as well in this, as you see all these career areas, we have many different career ladders that are available. So it's important to know, another decision in making your future employment decisions is what kind of career advancement does the organization offer? So in all of these areas, there are career advancement, there are career ladders, and it's not even necessarily one particular path that you can go. For example, I'm in human resources. Let's say, for example, I have the opportunity to advance further into human resources. I also can consider, let's say, administrative was a passion or a route I'd like to go. There's also opportunities administratively that can be considered. We oftentimes have, this is a great example. We have students that start off possibly in food services as food service workers while they're in college, because the position is amazing at work. The hours are oftentimes perfect for students because it's just during the day, 4 to 6.5 hours a day, and you get full-time benefits and pension and vacation and all that good stuff. Whereas with a lot of other food services positions, you'll have to work nights and weekends and all that. And with our food services positions, great for college students and also parents, you don't have to do any of that. And you get full-time benefits working only 4 to 6.5 hours a day. So that's just, one example of a position where students choose to start off, and then let's say you graduate and you're looking to advance in your career. Possibly you apply to a different career area with LAUSD. This food services position worked out great while you were in college. Now your major is business administration and you're considering an administrative position. Fantastic. You can go ahead and apply. Another option is maybe you choose to start off in food services and you love food services and you want to advance and become a food services manager, maybe a regional manager, keep on going up the ladder. Those are opportunities for you to pursue as well. So there's many, given the over 1,000 job titles and the many different career areas we offer, there's not one exact path that you are to follow. There's many different opportunities for you here at the district. So because there are so many opportunities, we actually have our own website, which you see here on the slide, lausdjobs.org. So we might advertise elsewhere, but as far as where you apply, it is always going to be on this website, lausdjobs.org. So we are so big, we tried to really make this website as easy as possible. However, it is, there's a lot of information on here, and we do encourage everybody to get really familiar with the website because it'll only serve you in the future. So when you kind of set aside a chunk of time with maybe a good cup of coffee, take a look at the website. There is a tab, if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, where you see talented people, innovative minds. Well, that's our lausdjobs.org website. At the top of the screen, right around the middle, there's a drop-down menu. It's kind of hard to see from where you're at, but it says employee resources. There are tabs where you can take a peek at the 1,000+ job titles that we offer. You can also take a peek at the salaries for all of the jobs, because that is public information. So that's all under that employee resources tab. So you can be very informed prior to applying to any position as far as what the salaries are and all the positions and all that good stuff. Another area to note on this website, toward the left-hand side of the screen, there's 2 orange buttons. One of them is a create a job alert tab. So let's say you have your cup of coffee and you go to that employee resources tab that I mentioned earlier, and you're viewing all the jobs, you're viewing the salaries, and you may pick a half a dozen jobs that you like. Fantastic. You can create a job alert for each of those positions so that you know when they open. and LAUSD will send you an alert saying, hey, this position that you're interested has opened. Well, that's a fantastic tool that I strongly recommend to everybody. Now, how do we go ahead? How do we take a look at all the positions that are opening now or that are available now, those 35 to 50 positions that I mentioned? Well, that big orange apply now button in the middle of the lausdjobs.org website, you want to click on that one. When you click on that apply now button, you'll select that you are a prospective employee if you haven't worked for us yet. And then up will pop a list of alphabetized hyperlinked jobs, all that are currently open, or positions, all that are currently open, which is the second screenshot that I took that you see here. Now, again, there'll be 35 to 50 of them. And for some of these positions, like, for example, our chief compliance officer, we're hiring just one individual. But for some of these positions, like our, let's say our food service worker, we're looking to hire several dozen people. So there are, for some positions, we're looking for one, for others, we're looking for many. So when you click on any one of these positions, they're hyperlinked for a reason. When you click on them, there is a job bulletin that will pop up that has all the information about the position. It has a position description, it has the benefits, the pay, it has job duties, what we're looking for in an ideal candidate, all that good stuff. So if you want to know about the position, if it interests you, you can go ahead and click on the position. Now, again, so these are all the positions that are currently open that we're looking to fill, what we call our vacancies. If you don't see, let's say you see maybe one here that you're interested in, but you want to know more, you want to potentially apply to more. Well, definitely apply, follow the application steps. It actually just, step by step, it kind of guides you through the process. So there is an apply button. Once you click on the bulletin, there's an apply button and how to go through the steps. So it guides you through. But again, if you see you would like to check out other opportunities that may not be open now that you want to apply for in the future and you want to know when they open, go ahead and do that, create a job alert that I mentioned earlier. So you can do both, apply to what appeals to you now, and also create a job alert for what isn't currently open, but may be open in the near future. So those two options there. So bottom line, again, get to know our website, spend some time poking around. I highlighted some of the really important areas, ones that you want to take a peek at. There's a lot of really great information on there to get to know LAUSD and how LAUSD works. We are what's called a merit-based system. And so what that means is that we try to hire the most highly qualified candidates for each position. So it's a competitive process that really helps out a lot, so there isn't nepotism. So you don't have to worry about, somebody's relative getting hired, ahead of you, if, and you are the more qualified candidate. So it exists for many reasons, and that is one of them. So a merit-based system basically means, we hire on merit. And so when you apply, we look at all of the applications. We have analysts, what are called selection analysts, that review all the applications. And if you meet the qualifications, you're invited to be part of the process, which typically involves testing and interviewing and all that fun stuff, which I'll get to in a second. Here you can find us at LAUSD Jobs and also at LAUSD Careers. So I recommend following us on, we're super active on Instagram and a little bit on Twitter. We're on, and of course on LinkedIn. So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile yet, definitely create one. Connect with me. I'd love to connect with you, and also join our LAUSD Jobs group as well. So that pretty much sums it. Oh, actually, I almost forgot. I promised to go over the process, because I'm sure that may be a question that may pop up in the future. So before we open up the floor for some questions, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the process. So The hiring process, or from start to finish, looks a little bit different for each position, but generally I can talk about it so you can get an idea of what it looks like. So bottom line, our positions are serving the students of LAUSD. So we want to make sure that, and this is for all intents and purposes, a public service position. So we want to make sure that we're going through there. We have due diligence, and we are going through the appropriate steps to make sure that we are, many of these positions may be working with our kiddos. So we have to make sure from many different angles that we're doing the right steps, from not only hiring the best qualified candidates, but also from a safety perspective, that we're doing what needs to be done prior to hire. So with that said, we also want to make sure that we're going through the processes as quickly as possible, because we don't want to lose you. We don't want to lose our candidates. And we all know that getting hired at a public agency may take a little bit longer than some of the private agencies, because their steps may be different. So we do have to have due diligence, but we do try really hard to make sure that we're going through the process as quickly as possible. So what does the process look like? This is step one right here. We get to connect. I'm a recruiter. I get to do the fun front end stuff and connect with our community here, with those within the Los Angeles Unified School District general area, and hopefully hire you within the communities that you live. So this is the fun stuff. Now, from here, you would hopefully apply on our LAUSD website, and then your application goes directly to in a pool that our selection analysts review. So we have people that are assigned to each position and review applications for each position. So I'm step one. Those individuals, our selection analysts, are step two. Once the closing period, not all of our positions, some of the positions we recruit continuously, a lot of our positions have closing periods. So when a closing period happens, then the analysts go on hyperspeed to try to get through the applications as quickly as possible, and review the applications so that those that don't meet the qualifications can be notified, and then those that do meet the qualifications can be invited to the next step. Now, for the next step can differ depending upon the position. Sometimes the next step is a scored questionnaire. Sometimes the next step is a test, or what we call an assessment. So it can depend. It depends upon the position. For some positions, to go from scored questionnaire and then you can be hired. For other positions, you might have a test and then interview or interviews, and then hopefully be hired. So it branches off from there, and it depends upon the position as far as what route you would go. There is constant communication from LAUSD employees regarding along the process. The process in total, at one frequently asked question is, how long does it take? Well, from the time that we have a period of recruitment, a period of either scored questionnaire, testing, and interviews, and then also the background checks. And as we do have FBI background checks and reference checks. So we're talking about a few different periods. We try, rather than making it a several month period, we try to make it a matter of weeks rather than months. But because the processes differ by position, and then also times too, if you have a lengthy work history, maybe your background check might take a little longer. So there's many factors that can determine how long it takes, but do know that we do try to make it a matter of weeks rather than months. So that's the scoop there. And I think I covered, I tried my very best to give you an umbrella overview of LAUSD and the different types of careers we offer and what our application process looks like. But I'd love to open up the floor to any questions that could be more specific in nature or general. Those are welcome too, that anybody might have regarding our LAUSD classified careers.
Hi, I hope I can go first. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead, Jessica. Thank you.
All right. I went ahead and I'm on the website. I see that there are 74 positions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
my-
it's very possible we have added more this week. Yes.
My question was, is there a way that I can filter these positions out? Because many of the ones that I'm clicking on require a university degree, and I am currently a community college student.
Okay. No, it's not. They are alphabetized. Now I'll tell you why. With many of the positions, like for example, let me give you an example. What types of jobs are you interested in?
Anything in administration, I'd be interested in.
Okay. What I would recommend doing is considering office technician or senior office technician, possibly both. Both of those require a high school diploma. They do not require a college degree. So unfortunately, there isn't a way to, we tried to make it as easy as possible and user friendly as possible. There isn't a way to filter out the positions by degree, but they are alphabetized, and we try to make the position descriptions as descriptive as possible so that you can click on what may be of interest. But those are two positions you might be interested in that would follow the administrative path, or quite frankly, human resources path, while you're still in college.
Thank you, Jessica, for posing that question, and thank you, Shauna, for the information. We have a couple of hands up, so we'll go ahead with Eloisa next. You're welcome to unmute and go ahead and ask.
Hi. Hi, good morning, everyone. My question was for something like in human resources, are all of those positions out of the LA like main office, or do you guys have offices throughout the areas that LAUSD serves?
That's a great question. So currently right now, all of the positions that we would classify or as part of the human resources branch are out of our main headquarters building. That is 333 South Beaudry. So that's kind of on, it's almost like the Echo Park side of LA. However, we do have many different types of positions that are administrative in nature, if that's of interest to you as well. If you would like to work at a school site, we have office technicians, senior office technicians, and we have a very popular position, our school administrative assistants. They basically work hand in hand with the principals to help operationally manage the school sites and to manage the classified employees that are on the school sites.
Got it. And then sorry, one more question.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, my next question was, I do currently work for a school district, a smaller district in HR, and and I'm taking classes at a community college, but my end goal would be to become like a credentials analyst. Does LAUSD have at all like a credentials analyst intern pathway or program? I know that the Cal State system has an intern credentials analyst, like that's the route you can go to eventually be a credential analyst. Is that something you guys have?
Well, you know what? I'd want to know more about that in your ultimate end goal. So, you know what, Mariana, do you mind putting my, or actually I could probably do it, my email address. So what we'll do is we can connect offline, and
Okay.
I'd like to hear more about your ultimate end goal. And there may be a couple options for you that you may want to consider. So, Mariana, do you mind doing that? Let's see, I'm trying to,
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
Sorry, thanks.
No
Here, I'm
worries.
going to go ahead and throw this in there. Let's see. Do give me a little time to respond. Sometimes I
No problem.
I have a couple hundred emails a day. Okay, there we go. Okay, so where can I see openings for the IT? Oh, actually, Marianne, I'm going to let you manage this.
Yeah.
You'll do a much better job than I.
No worries. And thank you, Eloisa, for your question. So we have Norma up next, and we have a couple other hands. So thank you guys for being patient. We'll get to you shortly. Norma, you can go ahead and unmute.
Good afternoon, Shanna. I just had a question about IT. Do you guys have anything like entry-level IT? And also, do you guys have any remote jobs? So 2 questions.
Okay, so remote right now is no. So pretty much we go at the direction of the current superintendent. Our previous superintendent, Austin Butner, we did work slightly remote, or toward the latter end of the COVID shutdown. We were remote and hybrid. Right now, our current superintendent, Mr. Carvalho, would like his whole workforce to be in person, so we are all in person. And so, but it's pretty much a big question mark as far as what the future looks like. We could be in person, we could be hybrid. So our workforce is just flexible as far as many of us support staff that are at the headquarters building. We're just flexible as far as what the desires of our superintendent are at any given point in time. So that's where we're at now. And so that's a really great question about the IT position. So we have many different types of, our IT department is over 600 people. So it is a huge, huge department with many different career paths. Currently, our entry-level position isn't open. However, it is one that in the past has regularly opened. It's called, and one that I'd recommend you scheduling creating a job alert for. It's called IT support technician. And that is our entry-level IT position. Again, like I mentioned earlier, check out, you can see the salaries, you can see all that good stuff. Just off the top of my head, I believe it just requires a high school diploma and 6 months of related experience. So that is a great, and the salary is fantastic. A great starting salary. So that would be our entry-level IT job. One step up from that, you may also want to create a job alert for. It's an IT customer support representative. You can also create a job alert for that as well. So those are both, that's one step above the IT support tech. And by the way, we do have, I believe, oh gosh, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's well over 100 IT support techs for the that work for the district.
Thank you so much, Shauna, and thank you, Norma. I know a couple others also asked about entry-level positions for IT. So, Shauna, can you just repeat the first, the title of that first role you mentioned that's entry-level for IT?
Absolutely. It's called an IT support technician. So those individuals are super important. They help to support entry-level hardware and software issues that happen at school sites. For example, troubleshooting Chromebooks, hardware and software issues that happen on the school sites, helping out the teachers or the TAs, with issues that might happen in the classroom. So these are school-based positions. Typically an IT support tech might cover like maybe just one very large school or possibly 2 to 3 smaller school sites. And this actually leads into another thing I want to mention. When you do fill out an application for any one of the positions, you select the areas in which you would like to receive potential job offers. So in other words, if you live in the northeast of LA, you might just select the northeast area. Or if you live in South LA, you might just select South LA. Or you could select 2 areas. Let's say you want to, potentially work in South LA and Southeast LA. You could select both. But that's because we are over 700 square miles, and we don't want anybody living in the South commuting to the North, because that would just be crazy. So just so you know, when you do fill out your application, that is an option, and you can select as many or as few areas as you like. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you so much, Shauna. And we'll go ahead and go with Chavia. You can unmute and ask your question. Thank you so much for raising your hand. We have a couple in the chat, so we will get to you shortly as well.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Shauna. Yeah, so my question is in regards to the district proficiency test. How long does that usually take?
It actually can vary. It really can vary. So I'm not going to give an exact time. So what the district proficiency test is geared toward for those that successfully have completed high school or equivalent. It's meant to test on the educational, the knowledge, skills, and abilities of someone that has completed either a GED or high school diploma or equivalent. And LAUSD does and is working hand in hand with our administrators to make sure that the district proficiency does reflect that. So unfortunately, right now, we don't have study materials for it. But do know that it is geared to reflect what students are learning in our LAUSD environments.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and go with Lee next. Thank you. You can go ahead and unmute, Lee.
I have a bachelor's degree in criminology that I'm not pursuing. I would be open to pivoting into the education field. But I have job experience in regulatory affairs, quality control, and like data entry operations. Like, what type of jobs would fit best for me?
Okay, you know what? Let's connect offline because there's a couple. I'm actually thinking because I want to look. I don't want to be too quick to answer that because I want to look more into your background and potentially get a resume from you. So let me go ahead and throw my email in the chat again. Because actually, immediately as soon as you said that, I thought of our OIG department, and then as well as our legal services. So let me get more information from you. Let's see, at LAUSD.net. Okay, I threw my email in the chat. So I'll go ahead and send me your resume, and I might have a couple options for you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Lee. Next we have Cassandra.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry.
No worries, Cassandra. Go ahead. You're welcome to ask your question.
Okay, so I was a substitute teacher with LAUSD from like 2010 to about 2017-ish. But I was on call, and I believe that I didn't complete a testing or something that was regularly supposed to be done in the mandatory. And I do believe that I was not necessarily fired, but let go in a sense. I wanted to know if that would harm my chances in reapplying, because it wasn't anything technically that I did in the classroom or anything like that. It's just that I had got a full-time job and I still had that on the side, but I wasn't active in it. And I let the mandatory testing go past.
Okay, I would still recommend applying because it sounds like you were on the certificated side, which is a completely different department. And so I would recommend applying because what we're talking about today are classified careers. So substitute teachers are certificated positions. We're classified, so we are a completely different entity for all intents and purposes. So within the LAUSD umbrella, but think of it as like a totally separate branch. So I would absolutely recommend applying.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Cassandra. Now I'll go ahead and go to the chat. There's a few in the chat, but if you have any questions that you'd like to unmute yourself and ask Shauna directly, you can raise your hand and we'll get to you. But in the meantime, there is a clarification question. So when you mentioned there are no remote or hybrid positions right now, Shauna, is that correct? They asked no remote or hybrid positions for developers.
Correct. We are all in person right now. Again, like we are internal employees, we're very flexible as to what the needs of the current superintendent are or what the desires are. And right now, our current superintendent would like all of his employees to be in person. And so we are in person. But in the future, we may possibly be hybrid. Who knows?
Thank you so much. And so there's a question from Robert. Are there any entry-level positions for software development? Would those be similar to those IT positions that you mentioned earlier?
Exactly. So what I would want to, so I would want to, again, I want to take a look at your resume. For example, if you're going to school for software development, typically our software development positions do require some experience. So let's say you're going to school and you have some internship experience or something of the sort. I would want to take a look at your resume. If there's no experience, then I would recommend possibly exploring some of our entry-level positions that were mentioned earlier. But if there is some experience, even internship experience infused in that, you could possibly start at in a more advanced role. So I need to take a look.
Thank you, Shauna. And I'm glad you mentioned that about the experience, because someone else actually asked about the 6-month experience you mentioned earlier in the entry-level IT position. So they're asking, what if you don't have the 6-month experience, but you have a certification like CompTIA A+ for the IT support tech?
That may work. You know what? I'm going to have to take a look at that exact class description. So you know how and you might even beat me to it. So I apologize. I try to memorize as many of them as possible, but we have over 1,000. So off the top of my head, I don't remember. But you know how we mentioned earlier, going in under employee resources on our website? If you click under the job descriptions under employee resources, you just simply scroll down. They're all alphabetized. You can simply scroll down to IT support tech. Under the requirements, it will actually list. And I apologize, I don't have that information right in front of me, but that might be substitutable for the 6 months of experience, but I'd have to look at the job description to clarify. So either you can email me, we can connect further about it later, or you're welcome to go ahead and take a peek on the website right now and get that clarification. But you know, if you'd rather not, just go ahead and shoot me an email and I can get you an answer for that later. But it might be a substitutable. The A+ might be substitutable, but I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Thank you for mentioning that, Shauna. And to everyone, everyone on the call, I will share her email in the follow-up, where you will receive the recording to the webinar. So you can also email her there in case you have lost her email in the chat. But in addition, so we have a few other questions. What would you say, Shauna, are entry-level positions for HR or for administrative or human resources positions?
Oh, that's a great question. I love the question. Okay, so we have many. So while you're going to school, so for, let's say, our community college audience here, right? So many of our HR positions or administrative positions might require a 4-year degree, right? So what can you do in the meantime? Well, let's say maybe you would like to pursue HR, but you want to get involved right now, right? While you're in community college. So what I would recommend doing is we have many of what we classify as clerical positions to get your foot in the door with LAUSD and really get acclimated to the environment. And we have positions such as the ones that are currently open right now. We have office technician and senior office technician. Those are great. After you get experience, 6 months of full-time experience with either one of those positions, you are eligible to take the training to become a school administrative assistant and help to run school sites, like I mentioned earlier. Those are great while you are in the process of pursuing, you know, let's say part of your plan is to pursue a 4-year degree to really dive into that HR field. You can do that. Oh gosh, oh my gosh, I apologize. There's one position that I failed to mention. We have 2 different HR branches, or 2 different routes you could go. I am what's called an HR specialist. My specialization is in recruitment. To go this route, a 4-year degree is required. However, we have another route called HR representative. That is more the labor relations, staff relations, employee benefits, investigations. That's all that route. That I believe, and again, I'm going to have to go ahead and reference that class description. I believe some experience can substitute for a 4-year degree on that route. So that position is also currently open. So look on the website for HR representative. Check that out. Look at the position description for that one, because if you do have experience in HR, qualifying experience, meaning it needs to be within the realm of what they describe in the job description. If you do have that qualifying experience, that may substitute for a 4-year degree in that position, HR representative. So check that out. Now, so that's the HR. When you're talking about admin, that definitely the positions that I mentioned, the starting off as an office tech or senior office tech, and then becoming a school administrative assistant. That may be a route that you would like to go. And then if you do choose the route of a 4-year degree, you could dive into what we call our administrative analyst series. We have an entry-level position is assistant administrative analyst, then we have administrative analyst, and then it goes all the way up the chain. So there's so many different avenues. And, I'm really glad, Mariana, thank you for sending my email out. There's really, as I mentioned earlier, and I want to make sure I stress it, just depending upon what your passions are. And sometimes we find that out as we take more classes at school and gain further professional experience. You might choose to slightly shift, you might have a general path, and then as you take more classes and gain more experience, you might more so narrow exactly what you want to do. And you could do that as you're employed at LAUSD. That's the beautiful part. So I'm certainly here to help provide you different avenues that you could pursue.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shauna, for your thoroughness. So we have another question from Grace. Some of the requirements include passing a district test. If the potential candidate does not pass the test, can they reapply for that same job position? And a follow-up question was, how long do they need to wait in order to retake that test?
I'm going to double check. And again, we can do this via email, but I'm pretty sure it's every 3 months, but I will double check on that to retake the district proficiency test. Yes, but you could certainly retake it. I'm going to double check on that. I'm pretty sure it's 3 months.
Perfect. Thank you. And so that would mean that once they retake it, they can reapply for that same position.
Yes, as long as the position is open, absolutely. Yes, you can absolutely apply. And if the position, let's say the position closes and you want to reapply as soon as it opens again, go ahead and create that job alert.
Perfect. Thank you. And so let's see if there's any more questions in the chat. I think we have a couple comments I can read off. Oh, I see a question from Carla. What about someone who's pursuing a career to become a teacher? So I'm assuming maybe what positions you can apply to, Carla. Is that correct? You're welcome to unmute if you'd like to. She says, I'm currently a community college and about to go to a 4-year university. I'm also currently working with kids as a volunteer. So I think she's looking for, recommendations for positions she can apply to if she's on her path to becoming a teacher.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So if you'd like to work in the classroom, we currently, I believe, have about 3 instructional assistants, or what we call IA positions, available. Our instructional assistants positions help to support in the classroom. And I believe right now we have one available. I believe our instructional assistants for transitional kindergarten is available, as well as instructional assistants for Braille, and then I believe there's one other instructional assistance position available, but that would be a fantastic one that is currently open right now. We also do have another one to consider. I believe it's open, is Early Education Center aide, and that would be at our early education centers if you're interested.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And so someone else in the chat mentioned, I created a job alert for IT support assistant, and it has an expiration date. Does that mean it was open until yesterday? If yes, I did check last week and couldn't find that position open, I guess.
Okay. Okay, I would recommend, I would want further clarification on that because I'm not quite clear as to what's going on. So go ahead and send me an email and we'll figure it out.
Thank you, Shauna. And so Carla wanted to know if you could repeat the last portion you mentioned about education centers, the position.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's Early Education Center aide.
Early education.
That's the second one that you might want to consider in addition to the instructional assistant positions.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I believe that's all the questions we have in the chat, and we're nearing the end of our presentation. But if anybody has any last minute questions for Shauna while we have her, please go ahead and unmute or enter them in the chat, whatever you feel comfortable with.
And then also we are at several community colleges this week. I just want to go ahead and mention, we are at, oh gosh, I'm going to have to look at our calendar. I believe we're at Cerritos College, Pasadena College, Pasadena City College, Glendale Community Colleges. So there's many community college events this week. And we are super excited to go ahead and connect with our community college students. So keep a lookout for us at your job fairs, as we do love to attend our community college job fairs and connect with you.
Thank you so much, Shauna. Now we do have another question. Do the teaching positions require the district test?
Okay, so teaching, so that's going to be a separate entity. What I recommend is going on to, it's a separate website. It's achieve.lausd.net. So that is going to be a website you would go on to pursue teaching positions. What we're covering today, and my specialty, is our classified positions, so our non-teaching positions.
Thank you, Shauna. So I'll get the link from that and send that in the follow-up email to all of you guys who attended and everyone else who registered as well. So you'll receive an email from me later this week with the recording, Shauna's email, the job board, as well as the job board for the teaching positions. So I don't see any more questions in the chat. Oh, and there we go. Here's another one. So how can I get into clerical jobs, for example, office technician, without experience pursuing a business administration degree? I know you mentioned some of those positions earlier, Shauna.
Yes. Yes. Oh, so that's the beautiful part. So office technician does not require any experience. Senior office tech does. Office technician does not require any experience. All you need is a high school diploma or equivalent. So that is a great position if you want to go to the administrative route and you don't have experience. That is an entry level of entry level positions.
Perfect. Thank you. So office technician, and as you mentioned earlier, you guys can all set up that alert. So in case there's no roles currently available, you can always receive an email or a notification when they do become available. Perfect. So I don't see any other questions. This is very informative. Thank you so much, Shauna, for your time. We really do appreciate you informing us and the rest of the students. And as Shauna mentioned, if you guys would like to learn more about these positions or have any specific questions for Shauna, we'll give you that email so you can reach out to her, but also look for them, for LAUSD representatives at your local community college job fairs. So if anybody has any last minute, Jose, if there's anything else you'd like to add, please do so.
No, I just wanted to say thank you, Shauna, and all the students who attended. Please follow up if you have further questions and take the opportunity to make the alerts and apply for these great openings. But thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mariana. Thank you, Jose, for inviting me here today. I greatly appreciate and I value the opportunity to connect with you, our students of our LA community colleges. So thanks so much.
Thank you. And thank you everyone who attended. Thank you to all of our students. We'll go ahead and follow up with you, Shauna, and follow up with everyone else. But again, thank you for being here and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well. Take care.
Bye, everyone.